Hi, this is Corey Hafley. In this video tutorial, I'll show you how to modify your existing Flash embedding code with the Flash object code. This way, your template will have automatic Flash detection, provide alternative content for people who don't have Flash, make your page more search engine friendly and accessible, give you validated HTML code, and work with Internet Explorer's object embedding issues. A quick comment about the last issue. In response to a patent lawsuit, Microsoft has issued a hotfix for Internet Explorer that bypasses the patent issues. If you look at the Flash movie here, you can see a thick border around the Flash movie and a message that says press spacebar or enter to activate and use a control. If you have buttons, links, anything that causes you or requires you to interact with the Flash movie, it won't work until you first click on the movie, and then you can interact with it. You'll be happy to know that using the Flash object code will fix this issue. Let's get started. First, go to blog.dconcept.com/Flash object. Click the download link. You'll be able to download the Flash code here. I'll save this to my desktop. On my desktop, I right-click the zip file and extract it to a folder. Now I open the folder and look for the flashobject.js file. Go ahead and copy this. Import the flashobject.js file into your website. In this example, I have a web template folder on my desktop. I'll go ahead and paste the file here. Now, you'll want to open one of the pages in the website in an HTML editor. This could be the HTML or code pane in FrontPage or Dreamweaver, or in a text editor like Notepad. Look for the head tags in the HTML code. There should be two of them, a starting tag and a closing tag. Carriage return a few times before the closing tag and add the following code. Now look for the Flash code. It looks something like this. Don't delete it yet because we will want to look back at some of the parameters. Depending on how your website is set up, you may or may not have to do this next step. First, look around the Flash code. If you see code that looks like this with a closing div tag and the starting div tag surrounding only the Flash code, then you're good to go. You can move on. But if you don't see code like that, then you will have to do this next step. After the last object tag, go ahead and add this code. However, in this example, I already have a div around the Flash code itself, so I don't need to take that step. I'll delete this for now. So after the closing div that surrounds the Flash movie area, go ahead and carriage return and add this code. Now we'll replace some parameters. Look for the movie parameter and find the SWF file reference there. Put that in the first parameter location. Now look for the ID of the movie. It usually is in the object tag. Put the ID of the movie in the second parameter. The third parameter is the width. You can also find the width in the object tag. The fourth parameter is the height. Again, that can be found in the object tag. Then look for the version of the movie, which is also in the object tag. That's the fifth parameter. Finally, look for the parameter that's the background color, labeled BG color. Take the color code and replace the very last parameter. Finally, go back and look at the ID of the div that surrounds the Flash movie. In this example, it's called Flash Movie. What you want to do is to replace the next line of JavaScript code with the name of the ID. Go ahead and save the movie and then preview in the browser. As you can see in IE, the outline is gone. When I move over the Flash movie, nothing happens. If the Flash embedding has worked properly, you can go back to the HTML code and delete the original Flash embed code. Now one more thing. Anything inside the Flash movie div is what people who don't have Flash will see. This is also what search engines will see. And if you use Front Page or Dreamweaver, this is what you will see when you're in normal or design view. So you can replace it with text, a picture, anything you want that will benefit people who don't have Flash and that will benefit your site with search engines. So in this example, I'm going to put alternative text here. Now, let me take another minute or two to show you a slightly more complex example. The technique used above is great if you have one Flash movie on a page and there are no variables being passed to it. But here's an example of a template that has several Flash movies on the page. When you look at the code, each movie is actually passing a variable to the Flash movie. So this is what you would do instead. After importing the SWFObject.js file into my web folder, I would find the closing head tag on the page and go ahead and add the JavaScript code that I did before. Then I would look for the first instance of a Flash movie object. In this particular example, I don't see a div immediately enclosing that object. So I'll go ahead and add my own. Remember that what is inside the div is the alternative content that search engines and people without Flash will see. In this example, I'll just put some placeholder text. Then I add the script code, same as I did before. Again, I go through and I replace the parameters. But now, I add this additional line of code. This will be for the variables that were passed in through the original Flash movie code. This line of code has two parameters. The first is the name of the variable, and the second is the value of the variable. You can go back to the original HTML code to find that information and replace it. Now I delete the original HTML Flash embedding code. After saving, I preview the site in the browser. When I mouse over the new embedded Flash movie button, you can see that it animates right away. When I mouse over the other buttons which have not yet been modified, you can see that thick border again. Now for the second movie. This will be a little bit easier. All I have to do is to copy this div code and paste it on the line below. Then I change the ID, which has to be unique, and just add a number 2 to it. In the script area, I copy the 3 lines of code and paste. Now the only difference in the second movie's code is the actual variable number, which is number 2 instead of 1. So I go up to the scripting block, find the variable number, and change it to 2. However, I will need to make a few more changes. Look at the variable FO. What I'm going to do is to make this FO2 for each instance in this block. Also remember that the ID of the new button is called Flash Content 2, so I change it as well. Now I'll delete the Flash code and save. When I preview in the browser, you can see that the second button has been activated as well. I would duplicate the steps to embed the other Flash movies. I think you get the idea. Now if you have more than one variable being passed to a Flash movie, just duplicate this line. Paste. And you can change the variable name and the variable value to the new ones. You can do this for each variable pairs that you have. Finally, be sure to check back at the SWFObject website, as there may be updates in the future. Most likely you will only need to update the JavaScript file and not actually change your code, but be sure to see the website, check the updates, and find out. Thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope it's helped you and that you'll find the SWFObject code very useful in your websites.